Imagine walking into your favorite cafe. You order a latte, then an avocado toast. On the way home, you stop for gas. Later that night, you buy a pair of headphones online. Each time, you pull out the same shiny credit card. Swipe, swipe, swipe. It feels effortless. Almost like the money never leaves your pocket. Then, a month later, your phone buzzes. Your credit card statement is ready. You open it and suddenly realize you've spent over $2,300. Your heart skips a beat, but then you notice something that makes you breathe a sigh of relief. Minimum payment due, $45. Only $45? That's not bad. And that's exactly what millions of Americans think every single month. What looks like a small payment can quietly turn into years of debt if you don't understand how credit cards really work. Here's the surprising part. Credit cards aren't designed to make you rich or poor. They're simply a financial tool. Used wisely, they can help you build an excellent credit score, earn valuable rewards, and even save money. Used carelessly, they can become one of the most expensive financial mistakes you'll ever make. So today, we're answering one simple question. Are credit cards your best financial friend or your biggest frenemy? I'm Della, and on this channel, we simplify investing, personal finance, and wealth building so you can make smarter financial decisions without needing a finance degree. If that sounds useful, consider subscribing, and let's get started. Credit cards aren't free money. The biggest misunderstanding about credit cards is thinking they're extra income. They're not. A credit card is simply a short-term loan. Every time you swipe it, the credit card company pays the store for your purchase. Then, at the end of your billing cycle, they send you the bill. If you pay the full statement balance by the due date, you usually pay zero interest on those purchases. That's why many financially responsible people use credit cards for almost everything. They earn rewards, enjoy fraud protection, and build their credit history, all without paying interest. But if you don't pay the full balance, that's when the rules change. The remaining balance starts collecting interest, and that debt can grow much faster than most people expect. So why do banks want you to use credit cards? Think about it. Banks spend millions of dollars advertising flashy cards with welcome bonuses, cashback offers, airport lounge access, and travel rewards. Why? Because they know that while many customers pay their balance in full, many others don't. Some people carry a balance for months, or even years. That's where banks earn a large portion of their money, through interest charges, not just annual fees. In other words, the rewards aren't magic. They're part of a business model that works because not everyone uses credit cards responsibly. The friend versus frenemy difference. Imagine two people with the exact same credit card. Person A buys groceries, gas, and everyday essentials. They pay the full statement balance every month. They collect cash back, avoid interest, and slowly build a strong credit score. Person B buys things they can't really afford. When the bill arrives, they only make the minimum payment because it feels manageable. Over time, interest builds up, the balance grows, and paying it off becomes harder and harder. Same card. Same bank. Completely different outcomes. The difference isn't the credit card. It's the habits behind it. Now that you know how credit cards actually work, the next question is even more important. How does interest really work, and why do minimum payments keep so many people trapped in debt? Once you understand that, you'll never look at a credit card statement the same way again. So let's break down the numbers without confusing financial jargon. The interest trap, why credit card debt grows so fast. So, we've established that a credit card isn't free money, it's a short-term loan. The real question is, what happens when you don't pay the full balance? This is where one small number on your credit card agreement starts to matter a lot. It's called the APR, or annual percentage rate. You've probably seen numbers like 18%, 24%, or even 30% APR and thought, that doesn't sound too terrible. But here's the catch, credit card interest isn't usually charged once a year. It's calculated much more frequently, typically every day on the balance you carry. That means if you don't pay your statement balance in full, interest starts piling up surprisingly fast. Let's make this simple. Imagine Della buys a new laptop for $1,000 using her credit card. Her card has a 24% APR. If she pays the entire $1,000 before the due date, she pays zero interest. The laptop still costs exactly $1,000. But suppose she only pays $100 and leaves the remaining balance on the card. Now the bank starts charging interest on what's left. The next month, she's not just paying for the laptop anymore, she's paying for the privilege of borrowing that money. If she keeps carrying that balance month after month, the total amount she owes continues to grow. This is why people often feel like they're making payments, but their balance barely seems to shrink. The minimum payment illusion. Now let's talk about the number that catches so many people off guard. Minimum payment due. When your statement arrives, you'll usually see two amounts. Statement balance. Minimum payment. The minimum payment is exactly what it sounds like, the smallest amount you must pay to keep your account in good standing and avoid being marked as late. At first glance, it feels like a lifesaver. Great. I only have to pay $40 this month. But here's the problem. The minimum payment is designed to keep your account active, not to help you become debt-free quickly. A large portion of that payment often goes toward interest, leaving only a small amount to reduce what you actually owe. It's a bit like trying to empty a swimming pool with a coffee mug while someone keeps pouring more water into it. Yes, you're making progress, but it's painfully slow. A simple example. Let's say your credit card balance is $2,000. Your minimum payment might be around $40 to $60, depending on your card issuer. If you only pay that minimum every month, it could take many years to completely pay off the balance, and you'll likely pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars in interest along the way. Now imagine paying a little extra each month. Instead of paying only $50, you pay $150. That additional payment goes directly toward reducing your balance much faster. As your balance drops, the amount of interest charged also decreases. In other words, every extra dollar you pay today helps you avoid paying even more interest tomorrow. The grace period, your best friend. Here's some good news. Most credit cards offer something called a grace period. This is the time between the end of your billing cycle and your payment due date. If you pay your entire statement balance during this period, you generally won't be charged interest on your purchases. This is one of the smartest ways to use a credit card. Think of it as borrowing money for free, but only if you return it on time. Miss that opportunity by carrying a balance, and the free ride is over. Why credit cards feel so easy to overspend? There's another reason credit cards can be dangerous. You don't physically see cash leaving your wallet. Research has shown that people often spend more when using cards than when paying with cash because the payment feels less immediate. Think about this funny scenario. Della walks into a store planning to buy toothpaste. 20 minutes later, she walks out with scented candles, a hoodie, a water bottle she didn't need, and a Bluetooth speaker that was on sale. She smiles and says, "At least I earned cash back." Meanwhile, her future self is staring at next month's statement wondering where all the money went. Rewards are great, but they only save you money if you were already planning to make the purchase. Buying unnecessary things just to earn points is like spending $100 to get $2 back. That's not saving money. That's spending more than you needed to. The key lesson. Credit card interest isn't scary because it's complicated. It's scary because it's easy to ignore. A small unpaid balance today can quietly become a much larger problem over time. The good news? Avoiding interest is actually simple. Pay your full statement balance whenever possible. Don't rely on minimum payments unless it's an emergency. Spend only what you already have the money to pay back. Follow those 3 habits, and your credit card can become a powerful financial tool instead of a financial burden. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that can affect your financial future for years, even if you never carry a balance. It's called your credit score. And in the next part, we'll break down exactly how it works, what factors influence it, and how you can build excellent credit without falling into debt. Credit scores, the financial report card you never see. Up to this point, we've talked about how credit cards work and why interest can become expensive. But here's something many people don't realize. A credit card isn't just a way to borrow money. It's also one of the fastest ways to build, or damage, your financial reputation. That reputation is called your credit score. Think of it like a financial report card. Except instead of teachers grading your homework, lenders are looking at how responsibly you've handled borrowed money in the past. A higher score tells banks, landlords, and even some employers that you're likely to manage your finances responsibly. A lower score can make borrowing more difficult or more expensive. The good news is that building a strong credit score isn't about being wealthy. It's about being consistent. So, what actually determines your score? Let's break it down. 1. Payment history, the most important habit. The single biggest factor is whether you pay your bills on time. Every on-time payment sends a positive signal that you're reliable. Miss a payment, however, and it can stay on your credit report for years. Imagine 2 friends. Both have the same income. Both own the same credit card. One never misses a payment. The other forgets to pay several times throughout the year. Even if they spend the same amount, the first person is likely to have a much stronger credit profile because consistency matters more than perfection. One simple habit can make this much easier. Set up automatic payments for at least the minimum amount due. Even if you prefer making manual payments, automation can help prevent accidental late payments. 2. Credit utilization, how much of your limit you use. Now imagine your credit card has a $5,000 limit. If you've charged $500, you're using only 10% of your available credit. If you've charged $4,500, you're using 90%. Even if you pay on time, consistently using most of your available credit can make lenders think you're financially stretched. A common guideline is to keep your utilization below 30%, and many people aiming for excellent credit try to stay below 10% whenever possible. Here's an important point. It's not about how much money you earn. It's about how much of your available credit you're using at any given time. 3. The age of your credit accounts. Here's something that surprises many people. Older accounts can actually help your credit profile. Why? Because they show a longer history of responsible borrowing. Imagine someone who has managed a credit card carefully for 10 years. That history gives lenders much more confidence than someone who opened their first card just a few months ago. This is one reason financial experts often recommend thinking carefully before closing your oldest credit card, especially if it has no annual fee. That long history may be helping your credit more than you realize. 4. Applying for too many cards at once. Every time you apply for a new credit card or certain types of loans, the lender may perform what's called a hard inquiry on your credit report. One inquiry usually isn't a big deal, but applying for several cards within a short period can make it look like you're urgently trying to borrow money. Imagine walking into 5 different banks in the same week asking each one for a credit card. From a lender's perspective, that can raise questions. If you genuinely need a new card, that's perfectly reasonable. Just avoid submitting multiple applications all at once without a clear purpose. 5. Different types of credit. Your credit report may include more than just credit cards. For example, auto loans, student loans, mortgages, personal loans. Responsibly managing different types of credit over time can contribute to a healthy credit profile. That doesn't mean you should borrow money just to improve your score. It simply means that, over the years, successfully handling different financial responsibilities can work in your favor. Why a good credit score matters. You might be wondering, if I always pay with cash, why should I care about my credit score? Because your score can affect much more than credit cards. A strong credit history may help you qualify for lower interest rates on future loans. Increase your chances of getting approved for an apartment. Obtain better financing when buying a car. Save thousands of dollars over the life of a mortgage. In other words, good credit doesn't just help you borrow. It can also reduce the overall cost of major life purchases. Build credit without chasing debt. One of the biggest myths is that you need to carry debt to build a good credit score. That's simply not true. You don't earn extra points for paying interest. In fact, many people with excellent credit scores pay their credit card balances in full every month. What helps is showing a consistent pattern of responsible behavior. Making payments on time. Keeping balances low. Avoiding unnecessary applications. Giving your accounts time to build history. Those habits are far more valuable than carrying expensive debt. Now you know how to make a credit card work for you instead of against you. But there's one final question. What are the everyday habits that separate people who earn rewards and build excellent credit from those who end up trapped in debt? Now I will tell practical credit card strategies, common mistakes to avoid, and simple habits that can save you money while strengthening your financial future. Credit cards, friend or frenemy? The final verdict. So, after everything we've covered, let's answer the question we started with. Are credit cards your friend or your frenemy? The honest answer is, they're both. A credit card doesn't care whether you become financially successful or fall into debt. It simply magnifies your financial habits. If your habits are good, a credit card becomes one of the most useful financial tools you'll ever own. If your habits are poor, it quietly becomes one of the most expensive. Think of it like driving a powerful sports car. In the hands of a responsible driver, it's fast, reliable, and enjoyable. In the hands of someone who ignores the rules, the same car can become dangerous. Credit cards work exactly the same way. The habits that separate smart users from everyone else. People often think financially successful people have some secret credit card trick. Most don't. They simply follow a few habits consistently. Habit number 1, they never spend money they don't already have. This might sound obvious, but it's the biggest mindset shift. Many people look at their available credit limit and think, I can afford this. But your credit limit isn't a spending recommendation. It's the maximum amount a bank is willing to lend you. Those are two very different things. Smart users mentally treat their credit card exactly like a debit card. Before making a purchase, they ask themselves one simple question. If this money left my bank account today, would I still buy it? If the answer is no, they don't swipe. This one habit alone prevents countless financial mistakes. Habit number 2, they let rewards work for them, not against them. Cashback, travel points, hotel stays, airport lounge access, sign-up bonuses. Credit card companies advertise these benefits everywhere, and they can absolutely be valuable. But only when you earn them on purchases you were already planning to make. Imagine two shoppers. The first buys groceries, pays their streaming subscriptions, fills up their gas tank, earns cashback, and pays the balance in full. Those rewards are genuinely free. The second shopper spends an extra $600 just to earn a welcome bonus. They end up carrying a balance for several months and pay far more in interest than the rewards are worth. The lesson is simple. Never let rewards convince you to spend more than you normally would. A reward should be a bonus, not the reason you make a purchase. Habit number 3, they make payments boring. Successful credit card users don't rely on memory. They rely on systems. Life gets busy. People travel. Emails get buried. Due dates get forgotten. Instead of hoping they'll remember, they automate what they can. Many people set up automatic payments for at least the minimum amount due to avoid accidental late payments. Others go a step further and schedule full statement balance payments whenever possible. Financial success often isn't about doing extraordinary things. It's about making ordinary things happen consistently. Habit number 4, they don't try to impress anyone. Here's a trap that's easy to fall into. Buying things for appearances. The newest phone. Luxury clothes. Expensive dinners. Weekend shopping sprees. Not because they truly need them, but because they don't want to feel left behind. Social media makes this even harder. You see vacations, designer bags, fancy restaurants, new cars. What you usually don't see is the monthly payment, the credit card balance, or the financial stress behind those purchases. Remember this. Wealth is often quiet. Debt is often loud. Some of the wealthiest people drive ordinary cars, wear simple clothes, and think carefully before spending. Meanwhile, someone trying to look rich may actually be struggling financially. Don't compare your financial reality to someone else's highlight reel. Common credit card mistakes. Let's quickly review a few mistakes that catch people every year. Mistake number 1, paying late because you forgot the due date. A simple reminder or automatic payment can often solve this. Mistake number 2, maxing out your card even if you plan to pay it off later. Using most of your available credit can hurt your credit profile and leave very little room for unexpected expenses. Mistake number 3, applying for multiple credit cards just because the offers look exciting. Every card should have a purpose. Collecting cards simply because they're available usually creates unnecessary complexity. Mistake number 4, ignoring your monthly statements. Even if every charge looks familiar, reviewing your statement helps you spot mistakes, subscription increases, or fraudulent activity before they become bigger problems. Think of it as a monthly financial checkup. A simple credit card checklist. Whenever you're about to use your card, ask yourself these 5 questions. 1. Do I already have the money for this purchase? 2. Is this something I genuinely need or already plan to buy? 3. Can I comfortably pay the full statement balance by the due date? 4. Am I buying this for myself or to impress someone else? 5. Would I still buy this if rewards didn't exist? If you can confidently answer yes to the right questions, you're probably using your credit card responsibly. The biggest myth we need to leave behind. Before we finish, there's one myth that's worth clearing up. Some people believe that carrying a balance month after month somehow helps build their credit score. It doesn't. Paying interest doesn't earn you bonus points. Responsible credit management, not unnecessary debt, is what builds a strong financial reputation. You don't need to make banks richer to prove you're financially responsible. Think long-term, not monthly. One credit card purchase rarely changes your life. Neither does one payment. But habits repeated over years absolutely do. Imagine 2 people starting at age 25. Both earn similar incomes. Both receive similar raises. 1 uses credit cards carefully, avoids unnecessary interest, maintains good credit, and invests the money they save instead of paying finance charges. The other frequently carries balances, pays late occasionally, and spends years paying interest. Fast forward 20 years. The difference isn't just a credit score. It's thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, of dollars that one person kept while the other gave away in interest and fees. Small financial decisions compound just like investments do. Final thoughts. At the beginning of this video, we asked whether credit cards are a friend or a frenemy. Now you know the answer. A credit card is neither good nor bad. It's a tool. Just like a hammer can build a house or break a window, the outcome depends on the person using it. Use your credit card to build trust, earn rewards responsibly, and strengthen your financial future. Don't use it to finance a lifestyle you can't comfortably afford. Because financial freedom isn't about having the highest credit limit. It isn't about collecting the most reward points. And it certainly isn't about owning the flashiest card in your wallet. Financial freedom is having choices. The choice to buy without worrying. The choice to handle emergencies without panic. The choice to invest in your future instead of paying for your past. If you can use a credit card while staying in control of your spending, not letting the card control you, you've already learned the lesson that millions of people discover far too late. So the next time you reach for your credit card, don't ask, "Can I buy this?" Ask yourself, "Is this helping the future version of me, or making life harder for them?" That one question can change every swipe you make. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more simple, practical personal finance content. I'm Della, and here we believe that building wealth isn't about being perfect, it's about making smarter decisions, one step at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.